Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Acta Number podcast. Today, I'm so excited because I'm coming at you with a blog post that I just wrote that is actually one of my favorite blog posts because I'm literally dissecting why I think that Lady Gaga is a freaking amazing marketer and how her latest album Mayhem is just a masterclass in storytelling, symbolism, and just extraordinary marketing that we can all learn from. So sit back, relax, and listen to this blog post. And you can also go ahead and read it in my website at www.mercedesmancia.com. I'm going to leave the link below so you can have a look at it and have a look at the memes and the GIFs and all of that. But this is, yeah, just, I wanted to do this. And so Lady Gaga didn't just release an album, she staged a comeback. And not just any comeback, but one rooted in layered storytelling, disruptive symbolism, and a marketing strategy that had fans dissecting every lyric, outfit, and frame like it's a scavenger hunt for meaning. Mayhem, the album, isn't just an album. It's a cinematic conceptual arc where each song builds on the last, unfolding a twisted, brilliant narrative about identity, desire, chaos, and rebirth. And before I continue reading, I want to say, and I really want to emphasize on the rebirth thing, because if we think about Lady Gaga, her career came to like a very, very peak, and then she tried to go and find other styles, but they didn't really vibe with her. Although she's like everything at the same time because she's like a pop artist, she can be this disruptive person, she can be this artist, she can also be like jazzy. And with the last movie of the Joker that didn't really do well, it was like this is perfect marketing for a an amazing comeback. And now I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, and if you know anything about that YouTuber, you would know that he really effed up a long time ago, and then he came back, and now he has a big brand and so on and so forth. It's not the case with Lady Gaga. Like she never effed it up. She just tried to go in a different lane, and it just didn't work well and not with her audience. But now she's back, and story by story, marketing move, she just freaking made it. And I really love this album, and the first song that I'm just gonna put in the back. I hope that it's not I don't get any copywriting issues, but I'm just gonna put it very slow because this is my favorite song. And the song is Disease, and this is how the album starts. Because it all begins when with the descent, when Gaga confronts her inner shadows, the chaos, the trauma, the darkness she tried to run from. The symbolism is potent. Red versus white, doctor versus patient, predator versus self. And if you've seen the video, it is so freaking obvious and it's so touchy. The lyrics, the video, everything is just part of it. Now, here she plays a version of herself in the video, in the music video, signaling the start of a psychological war between Lady Gaga and her alter ego, Lady Mayhem. No teasers, no second month TikTok build up, just a surprise drop and chaos online. And that is an intentional ambiguity. It's genius marketing. People had to talk about it because it naturally leads to the next song, which was like her biggest comeback ever, Abracadabra. Obviously, we all heard it, we all seen the dances on TikTok, and it's just it's stuck in our brains. Like she's gaga guys in our brains. Okay, like everyone I know has their brain just like taken by her. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you think about it, speculation is engagement, which at the same time is more reach and more virality on autopilot. And what she did with Abracadabra, which is the second song, is that she continues the story. Disease cracks her open, right? And then Abracadabra shows her putting herself back together as she faces the lady in red, the voice of doubt, fear, and expectation. The spell that she casts, Abracadabra, which has actually a meaning in Aramaic, is really on herself to remember who the fuck she is. And visually and sonically, it's a ritual, it's confrontation, it's a rebirth. It's really interesting. And again, Gaga doesn't explain it, she shows it. That's what hooks the audience. Fans become part of the narrative, interpreting the visuals, uncovering the clues, creating theories. Every YouTube breakdown, free promotion. Every TikTok dance, free promotion. Every reel, free promotion. This, free promotion. Like she's done it. She's she's in everyone's mouth. She's just simply like that's what she is. And now moving forward, we have a song I'm not like a fan of. I did like it a lot. It's Garden of Eden. And it's interesting how it goes because now that she's cracked the illusion and the cast the spell, she enters into this temptation phase where this indulgence, the chaos, the biblical garden flipped into nightlife hedonism. We go from like self confrontation to total surrender. And the lyrics drip with revelation and sensuality. Um, it is still part of the journey. She's not lost. She's testing freedom. She's seeing what's going on. And from a marketing standpoint, this is brilliant pacing because after two emotionally heavy tracks like Disease and Abracadabra, this one lets the listener feel something wild and reminds them that Gaga doesn't follow anyone's formula. She's her own person. And talking about following others' formula, then she moves into a song called Perfect Celebrity that I really, really liked. Um, and it's interesting because then the hangover hits, that all the indulgence, she plays for it here. She zooms out and she looks at the monster that she became. She's always talking about the monster that's part of her branding, right? Or the monster that we made her into, and the people that listen to her music as well. So yeah, this is she's not just critiquing fame, she's also critiquing her own role in it, and a peek behind the curtain of the pop machine, a peek behind the curtain of like I'm made of plastic like a human doll. That's what she says. That isn't just a line, it's a confession. And the branding moment here, it's when she blurs the lines between the character and the creator. It is Gaga, yes, but it's also Stephanie Germanota. The duality becomes part of the mythos, and the fans, they eat it up. And as they eat it up, she moves us into the next song, which is called Vanish Into You, which I like. But it's interesting how after all of that, she softens everything, right? She turns predator. Um, sorry, I'm confused with the, the next song. No, but like she, in a way, yeah, she's softening things because she's moving more into like the emotional part of things, right? And from the social commentary, she pivots into vulnerability, and this track feels like an emotional whiplash in the best way. After the rage and critique, she falls into like a soft lodging. It's about love as an escape and love as erasure. She wants to disappear into someone else to forget the burden of being Gaga. And the production here shifts lighter, nostalgic, more melodic. It's intentional. She's softening the story, letting the listener excel and dragging them back in. And as she does that, then she has to kill something, because right after that softness, she turns into a predator. Killa is Gaga's female fatale moment, in a way we can say, and I just love this song. It's dark, it's seductive, it's lethal. It's not just sex. It talks about power. She flips the gaze. She owns the danger, and she's always going to. It's always going to be a song for design flags in the narrative, but like in the narrative is still full transformation. She's no longer running from her shadows. She's become one. And the interesting thing about talking about shadows is that her next song, Zombie Boy, it's really interesting because first, I freaking love it. It kind of reminds me of it gives me like Michael Jackson vibes, but like then comes the crash. Like after the violence and possession comes grief, nostalgia, memory. Zombie Boy is like a tribute to Rick Genest. In the context of the album, it is Gaga looking at death, not just literal death, but also the ego death. It is the loss in all its wild, messy forms. It is danceable, it is sad, it is classic Gaga from the beginnings of Poker Face, blending pop and pain, but at the same time, it's something different. It brings me also back to one of her albums. I think it was called Art Pop, something like that. I don't want to lie because I was not a super fan of that album, but yeah. And then she quickly moves into her eighth song, which is called Love Drug, where she's still grieving, she's still seeking comfort in the worst way possible, aka addiction. This song is about romance as well, but it's also about compulsion, wanting someone even when you know they'll break your heart, but you still want it. It's slow, haunting, and hypnotic. The metaphor of love as a drug is universal, and the hook is a like an earworm. But the lyrics just got you, and that duality is how you make art go viral and stick. Now, she then moves into her next song, which is How Bad Do You Want Me? And after that chaos that we were talking about before, she gets a little cheeky. She track brings back some levity. Bad girl energy, pop confidence, a bit of a wink wink bravado. Um but even this has layers. She's still battling perception versus reality. It's about being desired, misunderstood, and leaning to the performance. It is catchy, and she knows exactly how it plays into the persona the world expects of her, Lady Gaga. Um, and yeah, like if you listen to the song, it's like she's talking about like, do you like my head, my ripped up jeans? Do you like the bad girl I got in me? She's in your mind like all that time, but I got a tattoo for the last of week. So it's interesting how she moves away from that, and then she kind of moves into like a trio kind of thing song that like the next three songs, so Call Tonight, Shadow of a Man, and The Beast, kind of go hand in hand. Because here's the thing, these three song arc is like Gaga's reckoning, starting with Don't Call Tonight is a denial that it's more like a denial because of the lyrics. And she's like, I beg you to come around, I'm so addicted to your lies. That's what she said, right? And in the mirror I get wrecked. um and the girl staring back at me. She's talking about herself here, of course. But then she starts with the song Shadow of a Man. And I love it because it brings me back to one of her best eras musically. But it's still telling a story because Shadow of a Man is like it's about the rage. It's about also believing, and it's interesting because it's also like an anthem of survival, like self expression and liberation at the same time. So the whole album goes about the topic of liberation. It's just like her falling. It's like a roller coaster that she takes you with her. So it's really, really interesting how she plays around with it. And then by the end of it, in this trio, we have the Beast. And the Beast is where she's not talking from a persona perspective. She becomes a force, like a werewolf's symbolism, and the clock countdown, the hunger and the darkness. It is all tied to the album's course, which is embracing the chaos and not escaping it. And now the last two songs, one of them being Blade of Grass, not a super fan, particularly me, but I do enjoy it because I freaking love her voice and her art. But then she it kind of goes quiet, you know. It's about intimacy, simplicity, like kind of like after the storm, Gaga wants something real. The symbol of love isn't a diamond, is a blade of grass. So this is like her barest moments, no gimmicks, just love, pain, and the quiet hope that maybe this time she'll get it right. And finally, her last song is Die with a Smile. And this song is kind of like a first full circle moment because it goes back to this song that became super viral with Bruno Mars. And like it was like as if Disease, the first song, was about the fear of being consumed, then Die with the Smile is the acceptance of being known. It's love, loss, mortality, and she doesn't run away from it. She dances with it. It is not about happy endings, it's about choosing peace over perfection. So the bottom line for me, Mayhem is more than an album. It's a blueprint. Lady Gaga literally engineered marketing arc where the story drives the hype. The symbolism fuels speculation, and the listener becomes part of the narrative. And this is what happens when you stop promoting and start storytelling. When every song isn't just a track, it's a freaking chapter, and people keep talking and talking and talking and speculating and just like dissecting your videos and your songs and what did she mean with abracadabra morta ugaga, you know, like everybody's going on there. So yeah, like if you're in marketing and you're not starting this rollout, then you're really missing the playbook. And of course, she's not the only author, musician that this has ever done that, but I just wanted to write about her because I love her and I just love her art. And I thought that was going to be an interesting blog post. And then I was like, why not read it for you guys? For those of you who want to um, read, which you should, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to own a business, you want to run, you want to learn about marketing, then you do need to write. You do need to learn and read. But I'm not complaining. Listening is also learning, and I've learned a lot by listening to this audio, and I hope you do too. And if you haven't listened to it already, I really, really suggest you go after this podcast, go listen to the full album. It's really, really worth it. It's a piece of art. And I usually don't say this much. I mean, I really enjoy like modern music, but it's hard to find really, really amazing artists this day, and this woman is just killing it. So yeah, that's my take on Mayhem and how Lady Gaga is just a freaking amazing marketer and a storyteller. And I know that this is only getting started because she moved up the ranks and now she's the top listened artist in Spotify. And I feel and I predict that it's going to stay like that for a long, long time. And I'm not going to be surprised if by the end of this year, on the wrap up that Spotify does, she comes across most people's profiles because really, this album is has a lot to say, and she's about to start a tour. I feel like she's gonna be everywhere, so we're gonna have more Lady Gaga for a long, long time. Apparently, so yay for me and for those of you who follow her. And talking about follow, if you liked this episode, don't forget to hit like and follow. That really, really helps. And see you next time. Bye bye.